Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. It's nice to be back again. Some of you were here, hopefully, last Friday when we got to learn about Japan with Miss Yasu. For your information, if you go to YouTube, type in Yasu. That's Y-A-S-U-E, Yasu. If you go there and type in Yasu at TRMS,
Why don't you say Yasu space
Yasu space
T-O space,
T-O space.
because you're going to have a lot of people doing an at sign.
Okay. Anyway, her YouTube video had almost 100 hits already. So anyway, you can watch that again if you want to see it. You all remember Miss Vivian from last year? She's in the seat of honor down here, right front. Everybody say good morning to Miss Vivian.
Good morning, Miss Vivian.
All right, okay. So I'm going to get started. I have brought a friend. We've been friends for about 30-something years now. This lovely lady over here, Yena, is from the country of Denmark. Yes, it's a country of Denmark. And I first met Yena when she was your age. She had the experience to be a foreign exchange student, come to the United States, stay with the host family, and learn about our country. And we bonded then, and she keeps coming back. I can't get rid of her. So I thought, all right, we'll bring her down here. She has a little bit of a cold. She just arrived late last night after many hours on the plane. So we want to welcome her. So if everybody could please welcome Yena. All right, let's go ahead and get started.
Hello, everyone. Thank you for having me. I'm sorry that I'm having this cold, so if I'm stumbling in my words, that's why. And it's because my English is not my priority language. My priority language is Danish, so I'm kind of nervous and it's hard for me.
Okay, Mark, go to the next slide.
So hi.
Okay, so here's your first lesson in Danish. This is how you say hello in Danish.
Hi.
Gee, that's hard. Everybody say, hi.
Hi.
Wow, they did that good. You speak Danish already. Awesome.
So, as I heard one student said, yes, Denmark is a country and it's not from Germany. It's in Europe, and it's kind of hard to, but this tiny spot over here is actually England. So if anyone knows where England might be in Europe, we're right next to them. So you can spot it and you see a little world map.
You'll notice that most of the country are islands. You see that? And it's a small country, and it's one of the countries they refer to as Scandinavian countries.
I was told, I don't know if I have the facts right, but I was told that Los Angeles City holds about 5 million people. Denmark holds about 5 million people.
Ah.
So we are actually just a tiny, tiny country, but we still have our own
Customs.
customs, our own queen, our own currency.
Okay.
Yeah.
Mark. You recognize the royalty? Okay, Mark.
Actually, the show from the Danish story. Yeah, that's our queen, Margrethe.
How long has she been the queen?
Since 1977, I think it was. Yeah.
Okay.
And this is the queen and her oldest son, Frederick. He will become the next king when she dies. And his oldest son, Christian, will become the next queen when he dies.
The next king, yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
So.
Yeah. So standing next to the queen is the wife of the future king, and they have 4 children. and the boy will be the king after him. And I was told last night, if they have girls and they have a boy later, the girls don't ever get to be the queen. If there's ever a boy, then that one gets to be the king, even if the older sister has been around for 10 years longer. So once you have a boy, you get to be the king.
Yeah, that's just another kind of, yeah. We have royalties all around Europe, mostly. Actually, the crown princess, Mary, she's from New Zealand.
Oh, okay. All right. And so you see the crown prince here. These are when his 4 kids were younger. And sitting next to the queen is her husband that died last year,
That
right?
last year, yeah. He was from France. So it's a mixture of, yeah, all European. So these are just a picture of them going to one of the royal fancy parties that we all see on TV. These are the guards that protects the queen.
Looks very similar to the guards that we see in pictures from England.
Yeah,
You like their hats? Yeah.
the skin is made of from a bear.
The hat is bear fur?
Yeah.
Those are also at the palace are the mounted soldiers.
You can serve as a soldier like that if you want to. You can decide by yourself.
There's the palace. It looks a lot like your home, don't you think, you guys? About the same size and everything.
And actually, that's just a part of the palace. There are 4 equal houses like that, and the queen has this one, and the crown prince has one, and then there's one for like all the parties, and I can't remember what the 4th is about, but it's like in a circle. City Hall of Copenhagen.
Copenhagen is the largest city, is the capital, and this is like shot from inside the courtyard.
Another guard.
Love those bear hats.
Yeah, our Independence Day, we celebrate it mostly because during Second World War, we were, what do you call it? The German was taking in our country, and the 5th of June, we were liberated. Yeah.
So during the war, they were occupied by Germany, and this celebrates when they are their own country again, when they were liberated.
And this is where we work for that ministry.
Okay, this would be like in Washington DC, where we have the Congress houses, you know, for the representatives and senators. So this is where the Prime Minister and all of those officials work. Just like in Japan, the king or queen, or emperor as it was in Japan, is mostly just what they call a figurehead. They don't have the authority. The actual rules are made by the Prime Minister and the Congress, and this is where they meet. That's an interior shot.
Yeah. So the speaker or chairman or whatever you call is always up here. They must be doing speeches on this picture because actually it's a lady.
Okay.
It's an old picture, but this is the guy in the middle is our Prime Minister at the moment, Lars.
She told me last night when she saw the picture, goes, and the Prime Minister is the short little guy. So, all right.
He put on a lot of weight since that picture.
Okay.
Yeah, that's as I said, City Hall.
Okay.
Many of the buildings in Copenhagen are quite old. They're like from the 16th and 17th.
Okay, how many of you have heard about Vikings? Okay, hands down. Let me picture in your head Vikings. What is one thing you can tell me you know about Vikings? Raise your hand. Yes. They have a horn. Does that mean that they're like bull cows? They grow these horns? No. You mean the hat has a horn on it? Got something to tell you in just a few slides. Okay.
Well, I'm from the land of Vikings. We have a lot of old, when you find stuff in the ground,
Artifacts.
artifacts, yeah, from the Vikings.
Okay. So
We don't
they-
do that anymore.
So the Vikings were famous, they were explorers. Also, they were warriors. And also, they like to pillage. Do you know what that means? No, that means in war, when they captured something, they went in and took what they wanted. Okay?
One of the first, regularly, what do you call it? You found from people in Canada is from the Vikings. Yeah.
This is at a museum where you have like a simulation of what an old Viking village would have looked like. They probably lived in some sort of a tent situation because they were a nomadic people. They were on the move, but always close to the ocean because they liked to sail to new places.
That's from a movie. If anyone knows the HBO series, The Vikings, that's from, I think it's from there. One of the lead roles in that series is a Danish guy.
Okay. Next. Okay, now these three dudes are dressed up like Vikings. And you talked about horns, but do you see horns on these hats? No. Let's see what happens next. Okay, so the Vikings believed in gods with superpowers. You guys have heard of Thor? Yes. I hear some yeses, I hear some nos. Does that help you? Does that look familiar? Yeah. Okay. Okay, go ahead.
So actually some of the facts from the movie Thor, some of them are actually right in history.
Creative license to say what they want to say. All right, so this is just another reenactment from either TV or movies showing how the Vikings lived. Next. Okay, as I said, they were warriors, pretty fierce warriors. And so as they would sail off to new territories, they just took over. Now, these people are celebrating in a parade, dressed up like Vikings. Now you see the horns, right? But watch what happens in the next slide. They didn't wear horned helmets after all. When they found artifacts of their helmets, they found out, oops, we got it wrong. They did not wear horned helmets after all. So now you learn something new.
I think kind of mixed up story is that many of the horns came from, that was the drinking cups. In old ancient time, we used that to hold the,
Yeah, to be like a flask or a thermos or something. Okay. And there is a recreated ship.
We find a lot of artifacts right next to the town that I'm living in, with like ancient.
Now, the Vikings, they were in Denmark. Were they in the other Scandinavian countries also?
Yeah. Norwegian and Sweden and the Faroe Island, is that
Okay.
Iceland? Yeah.
And the language they spoke was Nordic, right?
Yeah, that was a mixture.
Even kids like to dress up, right? Don't those kids look fierce? Yeah, I love their fur hats. Okay, now we're going to talk about the good old days. Boys and girls, the good old days is before Dana was born, and even before Mrs. Fletcher was born, if you can imagine something that old. Aren't they cute? So no, this isn't what they wear to school every day.
Our history books are much older than America's is. We have history back to year 700.
Wow.
Yeah.
Okay, so we got some windmills. What's on top of the roof of those houses? Sod. Those are sod roofed houses. It helps with insulation and cooling. What do you have to go on your roof to mow the lawn? You think? Again, they just dress up in traditional costumes, do traditional dances, folk dances.
This is actually the windmill that is placed in my birth town.
Okay.
It's still functional. They use these windmills to do flour, like from ancient time. But
Okay.
it's still working this way.
Yeah, so it's like a mill where you grind the, you know, the wheat or the whatever and make flours. Okay. You like that cart? Again, no, they have modern automobiles now, but that was an ancient tradition. Okay. Another windmill. That's the royal family, and they're dressed in traditional costumes because they were going to a festival in Iceland. Is that yeah? Okay. Money. Before we go, what's the money called in Denmark? Anybody know? Yeah.
Krona. Just as, because we,
What is the exchange rate? 1 krona is worth how much in American money? I know, do you know? 15 cents.
okay.
Okay? So, how much would it be if you had 10 krona? $1.50, okay. All right. So they have both coins and paper money. Now we're going to learn all about Jena. Okay, this is the city of Ringsted, the downtown section. I want you to notice that red building right in the middle of town, that tall building. Okay, next picture. Do you see it? I found this old postcard. You can see that same red brick building right there, see? Okay, now this is the old train station in Ringsted. And that's what it looks like now. So we have old and new city. Again, this would have been the downtown section. See the 2 stones at the corner over here? We'll explain those in the next picture. Okay. Those 2 stones, I had no idea what they were used for. Last night, Jena was saying that in the olden days, if a politician wanted to make a speech to the people, that would be like his stage. He would stand up on that stone, and the people would all gather in that area, that courtyard, and he would say, "Ladies and gentlemen, this is what I think we should do." So,
I think even the stone are older than the picture appears to be.
oh yeah,
Yeah, much older. It's just historical artifacts, so we kept them.
Thank you. This is a typical beautiful church in Ringsted. Who's the statue, do you know, Jena?
It's,
A saint?
no, it's a king. It's a Roman king who is actually buried inside of that church.
Ah,
Yeah.
okay. Shocking. Malls, no matter where you go. So this is an enclosed mall mostly. You just see the people shopping, going up and down. Looks like they're having a sale, all right. Okay, you guys have been over to Lake Elsinore to the outlet stores? Outlet stores,
Yeah.
yeah,
And my workplace at the moment.
yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, look at that. I have to tell you, Jena has 2 teenage daughters. The oldest one looks like what I remember Jena looking like when I first met her. The younger one, I didn't think looked like Jena till she sent me this picture. And in this picture, Jena's the oldest sister, and her daughter, Sina, looks just like that. I have to think, whoa. Okay. So we have 4 pictures for you here. This is from her childhood. Picture number 1, they're on like tricycles. That's Yana and her little sister Randy. Picture number 2, they're all dressed up. We have Randy and Yana, and they're holding the new baby, their brother Frank, because Frankie is going to be christened at the church. Picture 3, the kids are outside. Randy is holding a doll. Frank is on his race car. And Yana is probably yelling at both of them, get out of the street. You know how bossy older sisters can be.
Actually, the car in the back, it's my grandparents. I remember that picture.
Really? How cool. And then the last picture is in their house where Frank and Randy and Yana, they're playing around while they're drying the dishes. Okay, go on. The lady in the middle is Yana's mom. Her name is Lise. She's come to this country to visit once. And Lise always works at banquets and restaurants and such. So Lise was hired to cater a party, and Lise needed help. She had 2 teenage daughters, so Yana and Randy got to go to work with their mom that day. Welcome to California, Yana. On the far end, closest to me, is Yana. From the first time I met her, we went to Catalina Island. Yeah, so that's Yana. Those are some of our friends. And the lady in the purple dress, I don't know who she is. Some really good looking lady, I'm not sure. Yeah. Yes. So after she was here with us and did her studies, she went back home, finished high school in her home country. What these girls are wearing in this picture, it's tradition on graduation, you dress in white. Look at their hat. It's not like our graduates wear. Our graduates wear what they call a mortarboard. It's that flat top. See their little hats? That's a traditional hat for any of the Scandinavian graduates. Yana, I'm not going to say the word. You can say it.
Studenterhue.
What?
Yeah.
Say it again.
Studenterhue.
Class, should we try it? Studenterhue. Okay, next. And then she came back a few years later when my daughter was graduating from high school. So she came back to California. And so she was here again when my daughter on the far side graduated from high school. Yes. So that's my daughter and son and Nina at the graduation. My 2 girls, you're so cute. Okay? Yeah. So, after that, she goes back. She's already out of school. She's working back at home. Usually she works in either in Ringsted, which is where she grew up, or in Copenhagen, which is a big city. Lots of tourists go to Copenhagen, and because Yana speaks such beautiful English, it was easy for her to get jobs in Copenhagen so that she could deal with the tourists that spoke English. But on vacation, she came to see us. This is back in Ringsted, isn't it? Yeah. So they have a little trolley taking people around the
Yeah,
downtown.
during summer, we have
Yeah.
this little trolley to take tourists around the town.
Okay. All right. Who's on the rock? Who's that? Okay. Sort of the symbol. This is the #1 tourist attraction in Denmark. Out in the bay is a rock, and sitting on the rock is the Little Mermaid. And I'll show you why. Go ahead. All right. This is just little outdoor cafes when you're downtown. All right, so for several years, we just emailed, talked on the phone, didn't get to see her because she is down, she gets married, and instead of living in Ringsted, they moved to a house out in the suburbs in the town of Viby.
And when she says suburbs, it's a tiny town. There's only 10,000 people. So it's
That's
out in
tiny.
the countryside.
Yeah. So these are some typical homes in her area.
Lot of streets.
Yeah. That's a house Jane is very familiar with.
Yeah, but that's my home.
Yeah, that's
My
okay.
house.
Okay, and living in this house, they had 2 children. Lee was born in 23, right? And Sina, 2006. That's her backyard. Those are her 2 little girls. Again, right by the most famous statue, right down by the harbor. Everybody wants a picture when
You
they
can
go.
almost imagine she's not that big. Everyone thinks when you go to see the Little Mermaid, it's like a big statue. And actually we hear a lot of tourists at the base, you know, it is only that.
Yeah.
Yeah, so,
Yes. Okay, and there's Yeda and her 2 little girls. Sina is the one closest to me, and Lee was sitting on her mom's lap, sort of. Okay, this is when they're building onto their house.
yeah,
Mhm.
we needed extra space,
Yeah.
so we added.
And so you can see the foundation. Remember, you can't work every day on a project like this in Scandinavian countries because of the snow. So you get some work done, and then you have to wait for a while. Then you get some work done, and you have to wait for a while.
We
So,
have 4 seasons in Denmark, so it's like really spring where every leaves comes back to the trees. That's happening right now back in Denmark, spring. And then summer, and then fall, where every leaves turn orange and fall off the trees, and then winter. Because of changing the weather, all over the world, we don't have that much snow. We occasionally see it, but not as much as I remember being a kid. We went on skiing and having fun in the snow. We don't have that anymore.
do you think it's because you're close to the ocean? I was thinking probably.
That could be it
Yeah.
as well, yeah.
Again, you see the room addition is getting bigger and bigger. What is she doing? Can anybody tell? Yeah. So kids have fun in their backyards in Denmark, just like they do here.
Just that, yeah. We
Yeah.
have trampolines. and-
Okay, so she had a trampoline, having fun in the beach. Okay. Now, for the first time after she's married and has children, Yena, her husband, and the 2 little girls are going to come to California. So, they brought the kids to my home. Closest to me is Sina, the younger one. Closest to Yena over there is Lee, the older one. The girls made those flags for me.
Yeah, in beads.
Yeah, all
Yeah.
of these. And so I made a poster that says, Danish family wanted. And I had my 3 teenage grandkids who had come to California to stay with me for the first time. And we went to the airport and greeted them. So we had a house full of lots of activity for that month.
Yeah.
Okay, I think this one is at Wild Mountain Park, I think. Yeah,
Yeah, it could be.
yeah, okay. Where are the little girls, can you tell? Right, Hollywood Walk of Fame. I don't know if you can see the picture, you know what star they found? Mickey Mouse. SeaWorld, right?
Right.
Yeah. Every day that summer, we went someplace. So we either went to the beach, or a baseball game, or an amusement park, or Hollywood, or Beverly Hills, or something. So those are my 3 adult grandkids, well, teenage grandkids, and her family. And the girls got their faces painted at the Wild Mountain Park. Just typical dinner at home. No,
I actually think we were celebrating Tim's
It was my brother's birthday
birthday
that
party
night,
that
yeah.
night, yeah.
And all 3 of my teenagers had birthdays while we were there. So we threw a big party in the park. And Sina fell in love with my grandson. He turned 13. Sina followed him all over the place. Yeah.
Sorry, don't have a picture of Sina after the cake was
Yeah.
started. All the white stuff on the cake, she was like
Yeah, she
in
had
the face.
frosting all
and
over
had
her face.
frosting on her face
Yeah.
and hands and arms. It was like, what did you do?
Yeah. See, there they are, the baseball game.
I made a fool of myself that day.
Yeah. See how much the little girls enjoy coming to our country?
Yeah.
All right. So after our month together, where Dana was here with her American family, they went back to Denmark, and it was about 8 years, something before we got to see her again.
Actually, in this picture, you can see the drinking cup. The
Yeah.
horns.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And the one with the hat, with the horns is incorrect. Closest to me. Yeah. Okay. That's what Sina looks like, I mean, excuse me, what Yana looks like when she's not jet lagged.
Well, my hair turns gray after the picture.
Okay, what are the girls trying to eat? What is that?
Waffles. Yeah, pancake waffles.
Okay.
Our turns of waffles.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. What are the girls doing in the backyard, you guys? You got it. All right, yes. Okay.
Same
yeah.
picture, see?
Yes, St. Patty's Day. Yeah. Okay. This was, what, about 3 summers ago you did this?
Oh, more. More.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They decided for their vacation that year, instead of going someplace with the car and spending a lot of money, the mom and the 2 daughters would take their bikes and they would just bike every place. Can you imagine you going around California on your bike? I don't know. So they had an adventure, and I think the only thing bad that happened were the bees.
Yeah.
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 Okay.
We still have to remember that Denmark is like the size of Denmark can fit into the size of California 9 times. So
Wow. So it's not that far then.
No, 9 times bigger. So even though we were riding around for I think it was 6 days, it would only like be the same size of your area.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. And they ended at an amusement park, lots of amusement parks in Denmark.
Yeah. I don't know if you can spot it on the picture. I don't see it that well from the plan. It's a, yeah, bong bong. Is that the same word? Like a sweet? It's a
candy?
party made of a theme from a candy brand in Denmark. And the dog, right here, it's a kind of a dog thing, kind of looks scared or surprised. And because one of the little tiny sweets is like a, what do you sweets where you have it's a heart and you suck on it, so like a,
Okay, a hard candy?
yeah, a hearted candy, yeah.
Uh-huh.
So one of the things they made was like a brown hearted candy, and the guy who invented it came home to his kids one day and said, I made this candy, it actually tastes quite well, but I don't have a name on it. And the kids looking at it and said, it looked like a dog fart. And
It looks like what?
a dog fart.
A dog fart.
So the name became a dog fart.
Oh, so the name of the candy means dog fart. Thank you for sharing that bit of information.
It got very popular at the time
Would
because
you like to go buy candy called dog fart? Okay, yes. All right, so in November of 2017, Yana and the 2 girls came for only about a week because my daughter was getting married, so she came back to be part of my daughter's wedding ceremony. So there's my little grandchildren all grown up, Sina, Lee, and then my beautiful daughter, Dana. So there they are, our family at the wedding.
and we were standing right next to the, I don't know, can you switch back to the
Yeah.
previous picture? So you can see Sina, who is in the middle of the picture, is the same height as me now. So she grown a lot during the last
Wow.
year.
Wow. Okay. And then they were only here for a brief time, so we didn't have maybe only 2 or 3 days to be together to do stuff. You guys ever watch this show on television? West Coast Custom? It's a reality TV show where the guys go get old cars that are deserted someplace and bring them to their shop and make them a Smurfmobile or something like that. So when I asked the girls, when you come to California, what do you want to do? They wanted to go see where that show was filmed. And I found out it was filmed in Burbank. So we arranged for a tour. So we got to go do that.
Actually, at the tour, the guy who showed us around was very impressed because my ex-husband was a mechanic when he was younger, and so he taught me a lot about cars. And because we have seen a lot of the shows on the back home, I could point out a lot of the cars in the touring. Like, I remember that car, and I remember that car, and how did you fix that car, and how did you do that? And I was like, how come you know so much about cars?
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
So the tourists do more than the tour guide. Actually.
Yeah.
Okay. Where are they? Hollywood Boulevard. I doubt that they were looking for Mickey Mouse this time.
No, that was Katy Perry this time.
Oh, Katy Perry. Okay. So they're getting older. They've gone from Mickey Mouse to Katy Perry. Okay. This isn't the Hard Rock, yeah. Right. So it was just a brief visit. They had to go back to Denmark, and it's been a year and a half. Okay, so now you know about Jena. If you have a green card, line up over here in order. Green card, 1 through 7, right now. As you approach, you come up to me, tell your name and grade number, then ask the question. So are you in order? Look at the number of your card. Okay, come on up. Name. Your name?
My name is Tucker Earl, and I'm in 7th grade. And my question is, how hard was it for you to adapt to the American lifestyle?
I don't think it was hard because we're not that far from each other after all. But we have some difference in way of living, lifestyle, but it's not that far from each other.
Yeah, Denmark is a very modern country, so a lot of the same customs we have. Thank you. Next.
Thank you.
Name.
My name is Brianna Duenas, and from 7th grade. Are there foods in America that you like that you can't get in Denmark?
I was trying some of the Coca-Cola flavors that's here in America, we can't get in Denmark. We are like only, I think, 3 different tastes in Denmark, and we have several others here. But that's the only thing I can think of. Hello, nice to meet you. Thank you.
My name is Levi Earl, I'm in 7th grade. My question is, when you were younger, what was your dream job?
I wanted to be a police officer in traffic. It didn't work that way. I'm not doing that.
Yeah.
But I don't regret it. I got other interests.
It was funny, when I first met her and I had asked her that question, what do you want to be? And she said, police officer, thinking, this delicate girl that's into dance, she wants to be a police officer. I said, isn't that kind of rough? She goes, no, a police officer for traffic. She wants to just write tickets for people, okay?
My name is Katia Pedrosa and I'm in 7th grade. My question is, what kind of jobs have you had in Denmark?
So what kind of jobs have you had in Denmark?
Mostly I have been a shop assistant. Different kind of shops, but mostly where you buy things for your household in kitchen. Pots and pans and cutlery, and I'm a specialist in that and trained in that.
And in Copenhagen, when you were there by Tivoli, what kind of shop was that?
Tivoli was a souvenir shop.
Souvenir shop.
But I worked in Tivoli. That's was the oldest amusement park. Yes. Hello,
Ready?
Nedrona Ramirez, and I'm in 7th grade. When does the school year begin in Denmark and when does it end?
The school year begins in August and ends in June.
Exactly like us.
Yeah.
He's got another part to his question.
What school holidays do Danish kids get?
A lot. We have fall, a week during fall. Have a quite funny word for that. That's potato week.
Okay, the next time she's coming to this country with her girls will be, they're coming for Potato Week. Yena, why did the kids get off for a week for Potato Week?
Yeah, that's an ancient story again. It's back from when my grandparents was kids. So it's a long time ago. But in ancient times, we made all own vegetables by ourselves. Most households were farmers, and during that period, it's time to get the potato out of the ground, out of the soil. So every kid got off from school because they needed to help get all the vegetables stored.
So before the cold weather hit and
Yeah.
everything, the mom and dad would say, don't go to school for a week, kids, we need you to help out in the yard. So that's why the kids get off a week for Potato Week.
And then we have Christmas,
Yeah?
and then we have winter, and then we have Easter, and yeah, all this and name is a week of school, and then Christmas is sometimes 2 weeks actually, and
How
then
long
we have
is,
some holidays.
Okay.
Yeah, national holidays.
okay, all right, thank you.
Thank you. Nice to meet you.
My name is Alexis Sanchez and I'm in 8th grade. Are there things in the USA that you don't like?
Yeah.
Oh, this broke my heart when she told me yes. So what don't you like in the USA?
Macaroni and cheese.
Okay, this is the first person I ever met that doesn't like macaroni and cheese. And she was talking about my daughter's wedding and macaroni and cheese.
Yeah, actually, at the wedding, they throw in macaroni and cheese, just kind of a fun dish to put into a wedding, I understand.
Yeah.
Like different. And my daughter, the youngest one, seen it, is looking at it and said, what is this? And I said, it's kind of a pasta thing with a lot of cheese in it. And I'm like, oh, my favorite. And she puts on a lot of her plate and sit down and kind of looked funny in her first bite, and she was like, what is this? I said, it's a very traditional dish. Ew!
I don't know. I think we'll have to train her. Get her some good macaroni and cheese.
I'm Megan Garai, and I'm in 7th grade. My question is, what inspired you the most?
Yeah, it's a good question, and Shirley, Mrs. Fletcher, actually have pointed that question to me in forward, and I was trying to hard think because we don't have a point of life of viewing and inspiring. I think my kids are inspiring me. People who do well. To name a person you probably know would be your former President Obama. I think he has a lot of his mind. But I also get inspiration from just being outside nature.
Ah, very good, thank you. How many people have heard of Hans Christian Andersen? Raise your hand. One hand went up. Hands, 2, 3 hands down, hands down. How many people have heard of The Little Mermaid? Hands down. That means you all know Hans Christian Andersen. How many people know the story of The Emperor's New Clothes? Ah, more people know about Hans Christian Andersen. How many people know the story of Thumbelina? Aha, more fans, all right? What I'm telling you is probably the most famous person throughout the world that came from Denmark with this man, Hans Christian Andersen, and he wrote what they called fairy tales. And his stories were traditionally favorites all over the world. And you guys all know Walt Disney. He stole some of those stories, made them into movies. So, no, Walt Disney did not create The Little Mermaid. It was Hans Christian Andersen. Okay.
Walt Disney rewrote the story of The Little Mermaid because in the real story, the Hans Christian Andersen story of The Little Mermaid, she dies in the end.
Well, that's a cheerful thought, isn't it? And is it a happy ending? Yeah, the mermaid dies. Okay, so this is an old photograph of Hans Christian Andersen in the 1800s. And they have a park in Copenhagen. And, oh, anybody know why is there a duck? A statue of the duck by Hans Christian Andersen. What story? The Ugly Duckling. That's a Hans Christian Andersen story. And of course, again, The Little Mermaid is the one that you probably are most familiar with. And so this is in the harbor, and it's probably the most photographed point of interest in Denmark. Those are her two daughters. The younger one is Sina, the older one is Liv, and they're posing in front of the statue. So these are just some of the stories. We got The Little Mermaid, Emperor's New Clothes, Thumbelina, The Snow Queen, Princess of the Pea, Ugly Duckling, The Tin Soldier. So those are just some of the ones. And his house, what city's from?
Odense.
What?
Odense. It's probably
Odense. Yeah, right. His home is now a museum, and you can go tour. And that's where Yana and her daughters are, next to the street. You can see the old area he was from on that street.
but still modernized.
Yeah. Okay. How many people here have ever played with Legos? Oh, wait a minute, I'm worried. Hands down. Mr. Smallberg, I didn't see your hand up. We'll try again. How many people have ever played with Legos? Oh, now I feel better. Thank you. Did you know that Legos were invented in Denmark? In 1934, this toy maker, Ole Kirk Christensen, would make wooden toys, and we got the idea, if I took some wood and made little blocks, drill little holes, little pegs, kids could put them together. So the first Legos were made out of wood, and they thought, no, let's make them out of plastic. So parents all over the world can step on Legos in the middle of the night and scream. See? Those are some of the original sets.
Actually, this box, this Britain, it's German.
Is it German?
Yeah.
Yeah. Keep going. Okay. Now, this is Legoland in Denmark. And when I first met Dana when she was 15, we didn't have a Legoland here in California yet. And she told me about a place called Legoland in Denmark. I'm thinking, wow, what a great idea. I'm really sorry that we'll never get to see it because there isn't one here. How many of you have been to Legoland? Yeah, gosh. Okay, so there's New York skyline, all done in Legos. Now, this is what I just learned. There are 8 Legolands throughout the world. I want to learn about transportation in Denmark. Ladies and gentlemen, what do you see on those people? Yeah. So, bikes go in all weather. Most people in Denmark travel by bicycle, even in the snow.
We have more bikes in Copenhagen than we have cars. Yeah.
Okay, so bikes and all, what, bikes for the kids, bikes for the adults, bikes and bikes and bikes and even more bikes. So everybody rides their bikes. You see this red highway? Bikes only. So instead of having to be down on the city street, they have this like little elevated freeway just for bicycles. That's in Copenhagen. And Copenhagen, the capital of Denmark, is called the City of Bikes. I like this picture because it shows us two things. It shows us a car on the highway. What do you see next to the car? Underground train.
Yeah, that would be the new metro.
Okay, looks like our place, doesn't it? Traffic, train up above, okay? Traffic, just like you see here in the Western. I don't know if you remember from last week, we were talking about Japan and about their cars. In Japan, you keep a car for 3 years. Once a car is 3 years old, you cannot keep your car, you can't license it. So, because Japan doesn't want any junky cars, so after 3 years, you can't have that car anymore. You sell it. Who do they sell it to? Denmark is one of the countries. Hey, we'll buy your car, it's only 3 years old. Such a deal, okay? What kind of stores have you guys? Circle K. We have Circle K, so we've got the gas station, the convenience store, very much like here in the States. The metro. Have you guys been to the metro here? Okay. This is the metro in Denmark.
Still growing.
Yeah.
It's actually, I think it's 10 years old. Only 10 years old system.
Mark. This is the interior of the metro. Okay. This is so cool. All right, the train. And you want to go across the ocean to another country. How are you going to get there? You buy a ticket, you get on the train. Behind the train, you see that tall thing? It's a boat. The whole train drives into the ferry boat. And now you go across the water to the ferry boat, and when you get to the land on the other side, your train drives off the ferry boat. Isn't that cool? So trains go on the land, they go underground, in some cases they go underwater, and they go on ferry boats. Okay, so this is one of the typical ferry boats. Jena, how long does it take usually to get from one of the islands in Denmark to go across the Baltic Sea? Time-wise, how long, maybe?
Well, I wouldn't say the Baltic Sea. We don't, it's from one part of where I'm the island I'm living in to the part that's attached to Germany. It's about a 45 minutes ferry, yeah.
All right, thank you. Okay, they also have water taxis if you don't want to take the ferry.
That's the harbor taxis in Copenhagen.
Yeah. Okay, check this out. I remember when Jena told me that they were building this thing. So they have built a bridge so that you can get from Denmark to Sweden. So as I was pulling up pictures to show you, at the bottom over there, the bridge just disappears into the water. Why? It goes under the ocean, it goes underground. So you go on the bridge above the water, and then at one point, you go underground and continue on your journey. Okay, thank you. All right, what's the word, do you think? Very good. Now we're going to learn about schools in Denmark. In Denmark, if you go to a public school, it's free for primary, middle school, high school, and look what else. College is also free in Denmark. Now, let me explain something.
And the university.
Well, it's college.
Okay.
Yeah. Let me explain something. How can the government afford to do that?
More taxes.
Say it again.
More taxes.
All right. Does anybody have a general idea of the average percentage an American pays in taxes?
0.725. Wow.
I've never counted on one of those kids again. I can't hear you.
7.25%.
Who told you that? What class?
It's because in math, we were learning how to add taxes onto prices.
Okay, but this is not sales tax.
That's not, that's you're talking sales tax.
Yeah.
We're talking about income tax. Okay, my fault. I kept thinking, what? All right, here's the deal. I would guess in America, most families, for every dollar that they earn on their job, they will pay somewhere between 20 and 30 cents of that dollar they pay in taxes. And those taxes are what runs our government. Pays my salary, pays Mr. Blomberg's salary, pays the policeman's salary, pays the fire department's salary. Okay? So about, for every dollar that you make, you'll get to take home about 70 to 75 cents. In Denmark, for every dollar that you earn, you take home about 40 cents. Now, is that good or bad? What do you think?
Good.
Let me tell you what you get for your money. Free schools all the way through college, free doctors, free medicine, excellent retirement benefits, with unemployment insurance. The government basically takes care of you. And so you pay into it all of your working years, about, well, it's 57 something, point something percent of your income, because they pay for all of this stuff with the tax money. Okay, so now let's look at schools in Denmark. Okay, can you sing the alphabet song? Don't forget the last 3 letters. Oh, stop. I only heard you go X, Y, Z. Oh, we're not finished. We have 3 more letters. Yena. Z is not the last letter. There are 3 more letters. What are the letters? A, Wasn't that cute? Okay, guys, you've got to learn the next 3 letters. The first one is if you put an A and an E next to each other. How do you pronounce that? A. The next one is a circle with a slash mark through it. How do you pronounce that? I love the next one. And the last one is an A, and it usually has a couple little dots over it. And how do you pronounce that? O. Okay, guys, what are the 3 extra letters? The first one is Now we can speak Danish. We know A-U-O. Okay, that's Okay, so these are just some typical pictures of students. Looks very much like the classrooms. There's a primary school. It could be any place here in America. It's just the same. Kids waiting for their school bus. See how fascinated she is with what the teacher is saying. It must be the Danish Mrs. Fletcher is there. Okay? Aha, it's always fun to have food in school. Yep. There's high school kids. Okay? Isn't that a gorgeous high school? There's a high school. Now, these two kids are high school graduates. If you were here in the first session, instead of the mortarboard, they wear this kind of hat. What was it called, Nina?
Studenterhue.
Sure it is. Okay? So this is a boy and girl who just graduated high school. Okay, Mark. All right, now, hey, Nina, what kind of sports, what kind of free time, what do kids in Denmark do?
Play soccer or handball. Actually, we're world champion at the moment in handball.
Okay.
Or dance.
Yeah, big emphasis on dance and gymnastics. More dance.
More handball.
More handball, knock the boy over. Yeah. Basketball. Volleyball. Okay. Now, don't have a lot of sunshine all year long. So when they get the sunshine, people want to be outside. These kids are playing at the beach.
Because the country is so small, everyone is close to the beach. Yeah.
Yeah. And so it's really popular. They rent little lake houses or beach houses, and where they'll go for like a family vacation in the summertime or something. Tivoli Gardens. We're going to talk about Walt Disney again. Tivoli Gardens was opened in 1843. Disneyland opened in, anybody know? 1955. 1843, 1955. Okay, so these are like typical rides from Tivoli. The oldest amusement park in the whole world is right here. Brocken, is that how you say it?
Yeah. It means hill.
It means hill. And lots of rides that I would get sick on. It sounds like lots of fun. Okay. And then of course there's always Legoland. Legos were invented in Denmark. Yeah.
The oldest roller coaster in the world, and it's all made by wood.
Okay, now we need to talk about the important stuff. Food.
One thing we didn't have on them is that Walt Disney went to see Tivoli and got the idea of building it.
It's coming up.
It's coming up.
Yeah. All right, this special pan, have you ever seen it before? Okay. I first ate apple skiers when I went to the town in Central California of Solvang. They make a dough, fry it in oil on this little pan, and then you serve it with either like a jam or powdered sugar or something like that. Okay, there's one with jam and powdered sugar. Is that, okay, it's getting good here. Yeah. See, she's using the stick to turn it over. Okay. Does that look delicious or what? Okay. Now, I don't know if you thought about this. In America, when we go to the store and we want to buy some sort of a breakfast pastry, we go to the store to buy a Danish. No, we're not buying the whole country. A Danish means it is a pastry that became popular over there, and it's any kind of a pastry, and it has a filling, either with fruit or cinnamon or sugar or something like that.
Cream.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, Mark. Another Danish. Okay. Oh, yum, another Danish. Happy birthday to you. I love a traditional birthday cake. It doesn't look like our birthday cakes at all, does it? Isn't that cool?
We're not that fond of frosties.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, that's a traditional birthday cake.
So it's the white thing was whipped cream.
Oh, yeah, I know. This is, in Norwegian, it's julekake.
Julekage.
Julekake?
Julekage.
Yeah.
Yeah, Christmas cake.
Yeah,
Yeah.
julekake. Okay. And it's basically like a fruit cake kind of an idea. Okay. Isn't that cool? And what is that to celebrate? What kind of cake?
New Year's Eve.
So New Year's Eve, that's your cake. Next. And I'm probably, you have these Danish cookies. They sell them a lot, right? Okay? All right, now, I'm not going to say any of those words because I would mess them all up. But these are all typical Danish foods. Go ahead, say it, Dana. What do we have?
Øllebrød, gule ærter, klipfisk, blodpølse, rødgrød med fløde, sød suppe, æbleflæsk, skinke og spinat.
Okay, see? That's why I wasn't going to say it. All right. What they're most famous for as far as foods is right here. Have you ever had a food, you go to a restaurant and they call it a smorgasbord? Okay, in America we go to a restaurant called a smorgasbord and we're thinking, oh, it's like an all-you-can-eat buffet. It actually comes from Denmark and where they had all of these little open-faced sandwiches and you can choose, I want one of this one and one of that one. And what does it mean in Danish, smorgasbord?
It's come from a more fashionable look than our primary lunch.
A lunch, okay.
Yeah.
All right. Okay, again, typical open-faced sandwiches. Good. More open-faced sandwiches, and what I want you to notice, sometimes they're on bread, sometimes they're on crackers. I want you to notice it isn't white Wonder Bread. The bread is a little heavier, thicker, healthier, a dark bread. See? Yeah, okay? So those are typical sandwiches, Mark? Okay. How would you like that hot dog?
Yeah.
You put all that kind of stuff on your hot dog? Yeah. Okay, go ahead. Yeah, what's this called?
Flæskesteg.
Excuse me?
Flæskesteg.
Class, what did she say? Oh, thank you for clearing it up for me.
Pork chop.
Yeah, okay. Now, here's a nice pork roast. Oh, pork, and more pork. Next. Pork, more pork. Are you getting the idea here? Okay, you don't want pork. Okay, now, everyday life, current times, everyday life in Denmark. Churches. The main religion is Lutheran. The secondary religion is Roman Catholic. So those are the two religions. Well, the Lutheran is a Protestant church, and you know what Roman Catholic is? Those are the two main religions. Okay. This is a typical Lutheran church. The pastor can be a female. Okay, this is the one in town.
This is the one in town, yes.
Yeah, this is in Ringsted.
One of them, we have several.
Yeah, this is one of the churches in Ringsted where she grew up. What ceremony is this?
It's Lucia Day.
Uh-huh.
Lucia means light.
Okay. It's a holiday that we don't really celebrate, but the Scandinavian countries do. And it has to do with girls, young girls dressed in white, and they do have wreaths. Usually they have flower wreaths in their hair.
Only the girl in the front.
Okay,
Yeah.
and candles.
Yeah.
Okay. You guys know what confirmation is? Okay, so they have a christening as babies, and then they take religion classes, and when you're about your age, you have confirmation. Okay. Lots of holidays, lots of spirit for your country, okay? Lots of parades. Do you like the outfits the guys are wearing? Yeah. Kind of like soldiers, kind of like clowns. Do you have any idea what the holiday is? Yeah.
No,
No? Okay.
not really this one.
Okay. Really into costumes. In fact, last week when I talked to Yana in Denmark, she was that night going to another costume party. So even though she's getting ready to come see us, she had to come up with costumes for she and her girls for another costume party.
I threw the party. We were about 30 people.
Yeah. Okay, in this picture, Yana is a stop sign, a signal, excuse me, and her daughter, I remember. That's, what was the character that Miley Cyrus was on TV? Yeah, Hannah Montana, right?
Yeah, kind of a disco dress, like 70.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, next. Okay, so you see, they're dressed up for, and the audience is watching some ceremony that's going on for some holiday. There's Hannah Montana again, Elton John costume in the background. Go ahead. Well, yeah, what was the name of this program the kids were in?
It's kind of a, we call the show playback, and every class in primary and middle school can act during, they chose the number.
So it's like a talent show.
Kind of a talent show, yeah.
At your school.
And this one was at the music Highway to Hell.
Highway to Hell. How special. Okay?
This year, actually, Sheena will be performing the show while I'm here, so I can see the show. This time they will do Poker Face.
Oh, okay.
By Lady Gaga.
Yeah. Okay, let's see. Sightseeing in Denmark. What would we see if we went to Denmark? What does it say? Tivoli Garden, Walt Disney's inspiration for Disneyland. So when he got the idea, the concept for Disneyland, and he wanted to know how to set it up, he went to Denmark to visit Tivoli Gardens. And you can just scroll through them, Mark. And you can see, yeah, that does look a lot like Disneyland. Go ahead. Yeah. Okay.
But it's not as big as Disneyland. It's like tiny comparing.
Okay. Okay, so, again, Tivoli Gardens, when you look at the pictures, it reminds you of either Disneyland or Disney World. You got some of the same ideas and put them in. Okay. Even in the snow, at Christmas time, they want to be there to celebrate. Okay, so this is this a city hall or a church? A church.
A church.
Okay, a church, and
This is just town square.
yeah, in Copenhagen?
Yeah.
Yeah, okay, downtown Copenhagen, all right. This, I know, it's a hotel and a resort near Copenhagen. Yep. Remember, we've got water all around us. You're gonna see lots of water in boats. You like the colors in the houses? Yeah. Okay, downtown, all right, so many years ago we had more farms But today, in modern families in the suburbs, things are different. Go ahead, Mark. Old farm, old hotel, and now we go to modern living things. All right? So these are modern homes in Denmark, what you would see now. These are like the little cottages you can rent down by the beach or the lake. Keep going. Keep going. You see the solid roof again? I love it, okay? How would you like to live in that apartment building? Check out the patios in that apartment building. Isn't that cool? Yeah. The row houses are those older homes with the bright colors, narrow streets. Okay. That house looks familiar. This is Yena's house. So now this is like a modern kitchen.
It's very clean. Normally it doesn't seem.
Okay, they like to have a lot of fresh air and light in the rooms. So you don't see heavy curtains. This is a living room.
Because it's not summer and warm like it is in California, so we don't need to cover our windows to keep the warm out.
Yeah.
So,
Mark, go ahead. This is a two-story house again. Everything is clean and simple, white walls, simple furniture. Go ahead. A typical kid's bedroom. Okay, now, if you are a student with a red card, 1 to 7, come line up, please. Okay, we're almost done. Again, we're now going to have the questions line up 1 through 7. When you come up to the microphone, we need your name, your grade, and then you can ask your question. Are you ready?
Hi, I'm Valeria. I am a 7th grader, and my question is, in Denmark, how old do you have to be to drive a car, drink, vote, and get married?
start at the age of 16.
For driving?
No. Then you're allowed to buy alcohol.
At 16?
Yes. Like beers and wine, not strong alcohol, but beers and
Okay,
wine.
so beers and wine, but not whiskey and
Not
the
whiskey.
vodka and stuff.
Yeah.
Okay.
Everything else, voting, driving a car, the strong alcohol, you have to be 18 and get married.
Wait a minute. Do you have to be 18 to drive a car?
Yeah. Well, you can start at 17, training, but you're not allowed to. And in the age of 17, if you get your driver's license, you have to get an adult who have had his driver's license for the next
Okay.
10 years beside you.
Okay, so you can't drive by yourself till you're 18.
No,
And for getting married, did you say it was also 18?
also 18, yeah.
Yes.
Thank you. Nice to be here.
Hi, my name is Eileen Moore. I'm in 7th grade. And what was your favorite place in the U.S. and what is your favorite place in Denmark?
Favorite place in the US, and it's kind of hard for me because I have only been in California and in Florida, so I haven't getting that much option. Well, I've been in Nevada too, very shortly.
Yeah.
But I like La Jolla a lot.
La Jolla Beach down by San Diego?
Yeah.
Okay, how about in Denmark? What's your favorite place to go to in Denmark?
The beaches, I think
beaches.
we have a lot of beaches. Yeah.
Thank you.
My name is Yaretsi and I'm My name is Yaretsi and I'm 8th grade. My question is the cost of living about the same in Denmark as it is in the United States?
Cost of living. Similar?
Yeah, because we get, the thing is similar, even though we get more taxed, but we're also higher paid, so it's equalized.
Yeah.
I think.
When she came to this country with her mother about 20 years ago, because her mother and I were similar ages, I asked her mother a lot of questions like, I know what my house is valued at, what is your house valued at? I know what my salary is, what is your salary? And they were pretty comparable, we thought. Thank you. Next.
Hello, nice to meet you.
Hi, my name is Preston Stratton. I'm in 8th grade, and do all Danish men have to serve for their time in the military?
No, we do not.
Is it a volunteer military?
Not really. All men are picked out by numbers. You get a number, and some numbers, then you can decide by yourself you want to do it or you don't want to do it. Or some numbers you have to do it.
Okay.
Yeah.
So it's a draft system.
Yeah.
And if you're not at war, if they pick your number, you can say, yes, I want to go in, or no, I don't. But if you're at war, it's, you're in. Got it. Thank you.
My name is Kristen May Deacon, and how would you feel if one of your kids wanted to go to the USA to get married and live there for the rest of their life?
Well, the world got smaller, so I think I wanted to let them have the opportunity.
Hi, my name is Ruby and I'm in 8th grade. My question is, how do you spend your free time?
Mostly with my kids, with my family.
I know you love to go to concerts.
Yeah, concerts.
Tell the kids, what are some concerts you guys have gone to?
We went to see Katy Perry. And my next one is Ed Sheeran and Ariana Grande. Yeah.
Thank you. Next. Here's the last question.
My name is Katia Rodriguez and my question is, what is your greatest accomplishment?
What is your greatest accomplishment?
Saving up enough money to get to the US for the first time when I was 16. All the money I saved, I did by myself, and it was almost $2,000. So that was quite a lot of money. And being a mom.
Yeah. You know, that's the one thing that impressed me the most about Yana. All of the other exchange students we had, their parents paid to send them here. She was the only person I knew that worked for 2 years and saved every penny to have enough money to come on her own. All right, we're almost finished, so Mark, let's go over, these are some famous facts about Denmark. Ready? Number 1.
Yeah, 5,500,000 people, citizens.
Number 2.
Yeah, Copenhagen is the capital city, right over here. I'm living in the middle.
Okay, number 3.
Monarchy, the oldest in the world. We have what do you call it? History back to year 700.
Number 4.
More pigs than people.
Remember when we saw the food, there was pork and pork and more pork and more. They have more pigs than they do people. Next.
Nominated as the happiest country in the world.
Okay, seriously, they would have won the prize with, being interviewed. They find that overall the people in Denmark are the people that are most satisfied with their life, happiest people. And the last one?
We have a good taste of humor, as you asked us.
Do you think she has a good sense of humor?
You don't know.
Yes. Okay, I seriously asked her this question last night. Do Danish pigs say oink in Danish? Raise your hand if you think that a Danish pig says oink. Oh, you guys are much smarter than I am. Are you ready for this? Jana, what does the Danish pig say? What? All right, class. What does the Danish pig say? All right, so again, We learned a little bit today about Denmark. We learned where it's located. We learned about the Legoland resorts. We learned about the Queen. We learned about bacon and pigs, the famous explorers. We learned about the Little Mermaid. We learned about their celebration. We learned about Hans Christian Andersen. Did you learn a lot? Yes. Okay, class. It's time to learn a new word. Ready? Oh, we're going to say thank you. How do we say it?
Tak.
Stop.
Skal.
Still. Do.
Haven.
Haven. Okay, here we go. Top.
Skal.
Do. Haven. All right, class, excuse me. On the count of 3, I need you all to thank Diego. 1, 2, 3. Don't quit your day jobs. All right, so now, I first met her as a teenager as my exchange student. She fell in love with the USA and her American host family. It's now her second home, and she and her daughters are welcome to come back as often as they want. And why is that? She's not just my friend, she's my family. All right. So, one last word. What's the word, Dan?
Fun.
Sounds like farewell, right? So, everybody please say farewell.